the YouTube. Excellent. Excellent. I'm on the YouTube. It's beautiful. Beautiful thing. What mic am I using? Oh, it's you. Are you the mic I'm using? Alright, I guess you are the mic I'm using. Well, shoot. Heavens to Betsy. What, what was the last streaming service that I was on that I had messed up my chat? Is that this one? No, it was Facebook. That's okay, I messed this one up too. So, it happens. I'm the messer upper of things. So let's see how we do it. What? Stop telling me things. Stop it. Alright. We're gonna be putting, I already put one layer of clear varnish on this bad boy. See, I've gotta play with the lights so you can see things better because it's already shining up. So let's turn it down. Uh-huh. That's pretty dark, eh? So this is the fun thing. I put one coat on I did that on live stream on Twitch. But I'm going to need a few coats. So I figured I'd come here and do another live stream of the coats. It's not a coat of many colors. It's a coat of clear. I'm using the cheap stuff because it's good. It's only cheap in price. Well, it's not really cheap, but you know, it's cheaper than most stuff. This is simply acrylic gloss medium. In fact, I need to get some more ready. So what happens is, I don't think it can pick up on the camera right now. I've got a little bit, still needs to dry right here. Um, what is gonna happen is I went horizontal with the first coat. So this coat I'm gonna be going vertical. You want the creasy crossy like that. This stuff goes on white. And if you do it right, will dry clear. Uh, but that's scary when you think you messed up because then you have to wait for it to fully dry to know if you messed up or not. Like you're just watching the white all over your painting and you're like, oh no, oh no, has it destroyed? And it could be, but it may not be. You never know. Usually it's only so usually only don't get don't get nervous about it. That was just me being weird. Usually will not mess up unless you go over too fast before one layer dries, or if you overwork it, as they would say. So if you see that you're doing it and there's a problem and you just keep messing with it, because it's kind of a gummy substance. I mean, think of it as some mediums like this are technically glue. They're actually a lot of glue in there. So um, think of it like when you're doing, like, say, the old school Elmer's glue, and you roll it up. Eventually, you're gonna get, glue boogers. We used to take those and fling them at people, but you technically would be getting something similar, just on this layer. So it would kind of start. The more you overwork it, it's causing the texture on here to kind of slowly kind of make small little boogers, so when it wouldn't dry properly and be clear because it would be bunched up areas. If any of that makes sense. I think it makes sense. I hope it does. I can't I can't say 100% because I don't know what I'm saying. All right. So I think we're the little bit that's here is not really that bad to where I would have to stop. Um, I could probably go ahead and start. So far, like I said, I've done horizontal, and I also did top and the two sides. As far as the edges, I'm saving the bottom edge um, till towards the end because the edges I don't put as much um, of the varnish on. I only put maybe 2 coats. This I'm gonna put probably 3 to 4 um, because so I'll probably in this run I'll do these sides again. Then on the last run I may not do those, but I'm saving one side so that I can put it down if need be on because I'm gonna be bringing this down. In fact, I'll do it right now so that I can get the tops. Um, but since I will be going vertical for this run, I will put it back up. But I need this side, the one side, to be completely dry if I have to do all that. So that's the only reason I'm not doing all 4 sides at one time. If I had this laying down somewhere, then definitely I would catch all 4 sides on each run. But I don't have it laying down. You can see that. Hello. All right, let's get started. I was showing them on Twitch. I want to show you guys this. So this is the importance of cleaning your damn brush out properly. Let me get to where I can see my live camera. See if it picks it up again. All right, see, this is my brush. This is my brush on drugs. Now I'm playing. See all that in there? Big clumps. That's that's the varnish stuff. When I washed it, I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything here. I thought I had it all. And I squeezed it. I didn't see any more milky stuff coming out, but it's inside there. It looks like you're shredding up some. What's that stuff called? Sweet potato. Um, so yeah, it's stuck in there. So I'm gonna try my best not to disturb it too much right now, so that those things don't pop out. Um, while doing this, if I see those come out, I would definitely have to kind of pull it out because you don't want that on there. It's gonna, again, it won't dry clear because it's just a big white lump. Uh, so definitely, it's not solid enough to where it's not salvageable. Just when I'm done with all this, I will just need to do a thorough cleaning using soap and water and not just rinsing it off like I had been doing. So that said, let's go. I've bored myself to tears. But I gave myself enough time where that's pretty damn much dry. So I'm just going to spritz a little water. And let's get some of this baby on there. This I did a video on this before, like just not a live, just a regular video, kind of showing how scary it is. But this will be real time. So if you like watching paint dry, this is close. So this is the part I'm talking about. You don't want to overwork. It's gonna look weird. Just let it look weird. Um, you're gonna have brush stroke looks in there, as long as you're not laying it on real thick It's not going to be anything noticeable. But if you did want a cool brushstroke look um, to your painting, that is an option to just do a nice thick layer. Of course, you're going to have to let it dry. Thoroughly before you start touching it, because you don't want to damage it after you've done it. It's gonna be mushy for a while. But if you don't, if you're confident in it, go for it. Now, what this does, which I probably should have showed you, but I already covered it up. This is kind of, think of it like, again, like a glue. So this is protecting your paint from like sun and all that stuff, and it protects, like when I have mine outside for sale and stuff. It's also helping protect it from, rain. Of course, you don't want it outside. This kind of stuff isn't good enough for it to stay outside forever, but it's fine for a few hours every now and then in the straight sun. I still try to get it um, in the shade as much as possible. But anyway, if you ever have this on and you do what I just did, which is spray a little bit of water, you may find some weird spots that kind of look like hard water spots on a car or something. That's just because it's re-wetting that layer I already had in there. So like whenever I take these out, if it gets rained on with this particular varnish, it will look like um, faded spots where the raindrops hit. But once it dries, it goes right back to normal. It's just that top coat that's really all that you're seeing doing that discoloration from the water drops. Now, the first time I saw that, I got worried and I thought it was something, and I kind of played around with that spot too much, and it did kind of start taking off that coating. So just don't be afraid. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so don't get worried if you see that. Just let it dry, and it gives you panic mode for sure. You think that you just totally destroyed your creation. See how it's all hazy looking now? Get the top a little bit better. Just slap it on. Slap it. Now I did notice that in my times of using this, because of the humidity here, I'm thinking um, the ones that I have this varnish on, usually they not usually, but they'll at times get sticky when they're out in the heat. So what I've noticed is if I put a couple of somewhat thick coats, and then my last coat, the last coat that I'm going to do, which is going to be exposed, if I use this or the Mod Podge, they both kind of get a little sticky, but if you water them down, they're not so bad. Mod Podge is actually, in my experience, a little bit shinier. This is Mod Podge, gloss. That's not what I'm putting on right now. This is what I've used before. I may put this as the final layer. But yeah, this is what I'm using right now. They do. I did have a video where I compared the two as far as how their shine is. It's on the channel also. But if you water down, I wouldn't water it down on the canvas. So now I'm not going to be spraying water again. I don't want those dots anymore. Next layer, if I start watering down, it will be on the palette. On here, I would put some water. See, that's my stuff. I'd probably water it down just a little bit, not much, but just to thin it ever so slightly. And I noticed that helps take away that tackiness when it gets too hot. Now there is plenty other acrylic, clear acrylics you could use, uh, depending on the money you want to spend. Those two are the cheapest that I found that are still really good as far as they're user friendly. They're gluten free and they're vegan, soy based. No, I don't know. Watch this be gluten all over in this thing. Sugar free? Is that what? Anyway, they definitely are good for the price. Now there are things at certain stores, certain art stores that are a lot higher for this. But man, those things can get pretty expensive. There is another varnish that I use that doesn't is not sticky, but you do have to be careful to not go too thick. You know, I'm talking about with that cake. You don't want to go too thick with that. Where's that one at? Hold on. If you'll excuse me, I have to pass in front of you to find the other. Where did I put it? Alright, here we go. I'm almost out of this one, so I gotta get this. Gotta get some more. This is the other one that I use, just a little. Can you read that? That one gets a really good shine too. And I have noticed it does not have the sticky residue. Go wash my brush real quick. So yeah, that last one I showed you is more consistency of like milk. These other two that I'm using today are more consistency of paste. Um, this one is a lot thinner, so that's the thinnest. Then this one, and then this one's this one's thicker. My bad. This one's thicker. Comes out almost like toothpastey, and then this one is glue-y because it pretty much is glue. Yeah, glue and finish. Can you see it? It says glue in the title. On the label, not the title. Um. Mhm. 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 So yeah, the way these are. So that one is going to. It's gonna be milky, but very lightly have the white tint to it, and it kind of still does the same thing. What happened to my video? It kind of still does the same thing. You're gonna still have some of this um, white there until it dries completely. But my first time using it, I got too excited using the canned one. The canned one is, I want to say it's almost like $5 to $8 for that little can, but you don't really need too much on your paintings, especially if you use these guys as the like your base coats. Um, and that's what we're doing right now. We're just basically making a couple base coats, and then we're gonna put the top coat on. Um, and I also have the simply acrylic one. Also comes in, and this is gloss that I'm putting on, but it also comes in a matte. Um, I just don't like matte. I like the shine. I like the shiny shine. Is it too shiny right now? But yeah, I got too excited with the other one, and I ended up um, putting a little too much on one of my paintings. Let's see. And I noticed it developing kind of surface cracks. See if I can get this down so you can see it a little bit better. The too low. See how it's little white streaks everywhere right now? Streaky. But that other one, I ended up having like these real weird, like you couldn't see it from head on, but of course I was like, well, what happens if I look to the side and I could see like little surface cracks? So now I know with that other one, because it's so milky, it's gonna be a little more drippy. You gotta kind of go a little quicker with it. I do want to try some of the more expensive ones because they do look pretty cool. I follow some people um, from other artists from all over the world, and I noticed this one lady uses a really good varnish, but I don't know the name of the varnish. And she told me, I messaged her about 2 years ago, and she told me the name, but hey man, that's 2 years ago. I forgot what I ate today, so I guess I could message her again. Hopefully she has a bad memory like me and she don't realize I would have already asked her. No, I'm saying. But yeah, that's the boat varnishing. It's very scary and boring at the same time. So at this point, like when the first coat I did is where I'm more worried about pulling paint off of the um, painting, which I have done before. Um, it's scary as hell because you don't realize you're doing it until you start destroying your painting. When I first started protecting them, I did not realize that some of the paints I used, they were all acrylic, but I didn't realize that one of them was a pen. That I mean, I knew it was a pen. I mean, I used it, but what I didn't know was that pen had a longer dry time. It looked dry, but that was just the top coat of whatever uh, of that thin layer of that paint that was dry. So the more I sat there and I tried to work the thing in real quick, and I had wet it, watered it down, and I was using the brush, and it was just enough to apparently reactivate the wetness in that painting. And as I was going through those couple colors I used, I noticed started kind of streaking, and I had to just kind of stop. And then I ended up patting those down instead of using the brush. I used a sponge just to kind of get that first layer started. But then once that first layer was on, I had to go and touch up what messed up, and then do a whole nother technically first layer on that spot. So actually, the sponge I used to have a sponge just for this, and it worked pretty well. You just wet the sponge a little bit, let it be damp, put that stuff on, and just because it's less time of you agitating the painting. So that's why I'm saying don't overwork. Just do your little If you see that there's spots missing, don't worry about it. Just as long as you get as close as possible all your lines. Once it dries and you no longer have all this the white everywhere, you go back through and you do your other layer. The thicker the lines you're gonna have, the longer you're gonna have to wait, or the thicker the paint, thicker the varnish, the longer you're gonna have to wait, of course, for it to dry. Because basically, if you think about it this way, even though it looks like a real thin layer to you, even a paper is, decent size, is decent thickness. So the top layer that's exposed to the air may get drier before the layer that's actually on the canvas. Which is why there's times, like in this case, it seems you can see it's still white, but it may be dry to the touch. Doesn't mean it's actually fully dry. So the same goes with paint. Even acrylic painting, it may be dry to the touch, but some acrylic paint doesn't fully settle and activate for a good week or so. So if you did something and you messed it up, you can always take some water and scrub that spot with like a Q-tip or whatever and get it off, because it's technically not fully dry. It's just dry on the outside, but it's dry enough to protect and get it to market. Yeah. Special 2 plums for 1. Anybody know where that's from? Plums are ready for the market. There's no prize. I just wanted to know if you knew. Alright, so you can kind of still see. I'm trying to check on the camera what you can see. It's a little tough. This is what I really don't. I love how the shine is in real life. I don't like it for camera work because I need the light for you to see the painting, but it makes it hard for you to actually see what's going on because of the glare bouncing off. Let's see. Like in this particular one, I don't even think you can even see the colors the actual colors going on here. This is, my light's pretty low. Let me see if I bring it all the way. Well, that's not gonna work. Ooh, that's kind of cute. So as soon as wow, that light's barely, so it's already getting a pretty damn good shine on it. Let me see if I turn on the overhead light. 1 second, please. Can I go backwards? Oh. Oh, that took a year. Alright, so let's see. I got the overhead light on. That should be... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just use the regular lights, Joe. How about that? Sometimes the regular lights can work for things. Looks like a mess. So that's some of the stuff drying. See how it's just a little, it's not completely white, but it's made the color off a little bit. And that is the varnish. Getting a little drying on. Alright, so that's coat number 2. And that is taking 30 minutes. Jeez. So this is the boring process of protecting your work, but it needs to be done. Oh, suggestion by YouTube. Am I overworking the system, YouTube? time I will use a better bit rate. Sorry for that, YouTube. I'm working on Twitch bit rate right now. So, guess they're a little stronger. I don't know what bit rate means, whatever. Anyway, YouTube just sent me a suggestion that I'm too high on my bit rate. Alright, so anyway, if you are doing paintings, I highly recommend you using some kind of protection, gloss or matte. They also have a spray paint. Well, yeah, I guess like a spray can. I have the spray version. I usually use the spray version for drawings that I want to protect, or paintings done on paper. Like if I, I think I did. I don't know if I did it on YouTube, but well, I do have the video about Fiona. So Fiona, the first thing I did with her was she was on paper. Actually, I have her right here. I have both Fiona and Bree. Would you like to see? So basically, they are drawn and then painted, and they're on nice thick watercolor paper. Speaking of thick. All right, so well, let me see. I gotta get my. I gotta be able to see what I'm looking at. There we go. All right, so things like this, which is on a paper. This is Fiona. Can I focus on Fiona? And this is Bree. So these are drawn and then painted. So I've used watercolor. Did I use marker? I used watercolor and acrylic for sure. I might have used marker too. But being that they're on paper, I did not want to put that kind of varnish on them, because that would soak. I mean, geez, it would probably tear the paper before it did any protecting. So for those, I used the spray version. So if you're going to try and protect your drawing, I recommend using something like that. This is what I used. But there's also I'm out of the other one. Basically, any kind of clear. What was the other one? Was like Krylon or something. Um, Whatever that one big company is. This one is basically. Oh, this is Krylon. It was the one that has like a clear cap. It's basically one that you can get at a dollar store for like $3-4. Was the other one I used, and it says it's a clear varnish to protect your paint for like, like if you were painting a bicycle kind of thing. As long as it's a clear varnish and it doesn't yellow, you want to make sure it claims that it doesn't yellow, because you definitely don't want a yeller in one. So let's see here. Is that focusable? Come on, camera. Non-yellow, protected for oil, acrylics, and watercolor. So definitely don't want to put what I'm putting and rubbing like that on paper. So this is for sure. Oh, gotta focus back. Focus. For sure, this is only for canvas, and you could use it for wood too. You could also use the spray. The spray is usable for just about anything. Uh, the spray is usable. It's more versatile. Is that a better word? Versatile. Versatility. Alright, so I guess that will do. Oh, hey, sorry, I did not notice that shit. Askin. Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you, man. Which one were you talking about? The ladies or the wolf? I was too busy trying to see if the dang camera was picking stuff up. I did not see someone was chatting. My bad. There's a delay on my video on this side. My YouTube. So the way it is when I'm doing YouTube, it's not fully. I guess it's kind of compatible, but it's not fully compatible with my streaming server thingy my bobber. So I'm having to look at YouTube, the YouTube screen for um, chatting to see if anybody's viewing. But I have to switch over to my actual thing for a better, more realistic live camera because like that right there that I just did, I just waved my hand in front of the camera, and let's see for me how long it will take. You will see at the same time. It took me about 2 minutes for it to show up on this camera, so it's got a little bit of a delay. So sorry I missed your comment. I wonder if I did this, if you'd be able to see a little bit more about this guy. Well, of course I got to switch back over because now I'm still looking at the delayed camera. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, see, sticky. It's sticky. So if you weren't here when I described that, it will be sticky. Let's see if I can get the water, a little bit of waterfall or fountain, I guess. Little galaxy thing going on. I like how this came out. It's a little smoky cloud thing. A dango ate my baby. Oh, my hand sticks. Can you hear that? Yeah, that's how sticky it is right now. So I do need to water down my top coats so that it won't happen whenever someone actually tries to purchase this. They don't get stuck to them. Because you don't want sticky painting, man. That's just nasty. But check the shine out. Let's check out the shine now. So if I just put this guy on. Alright. Shine on my hand. It's got a little shadow casting, but it's balancing that pretty good. So we do have a couple areas where see the differences here? This is what I was talking about, or I don't know if I said it here on my other one. See how these lines are? Got a couple that are not exactly reflecting the same. And that's why we're going to do another coat going this way, and then eventually another coat this way, so we can hopefully cross out some of those sons of guns. Now this problem I did not see as bad whenever I used the now right now this is also because it's still kind of drying. I did not see that problem as bad whenever I used sponge back in the day, but um, I don't have a sponge at the moment. But the sponge is a little bit quicker to apply. You just gotta watch where everything's going. But I think I could it's still workable to get these things to where they're not so obvious. I think right here is where it watered down a little bit more because it's about the same stickiness. But you can kind of see if I held it to the side if you can see that a little better. can still see it, but see the different effects it's making right here. Yeah. So definitely gonna need more coats to get that start even out more. I think the duller ones are where the water kind of had a little bit more water dispersed. Um, and the shinier ones are where it was just thicker. But it's fine. So we did horizontal, we did a vertical, and we might have to do another each way to hopefully cancel this out, like I said. Uh, and it's not something you'd see just looking at the painting, it's just depending on the light bouncing off, which is still something I don't want it so obvious. I have some paintings that have like a little tiny strip left here where it kind of did that, no matter how many times. But I prefer it be as minimal as possible, but that's just my own preference. Um, but it's not needed because it's still protecting, it's still doing its thing. It's just, and if I really got down to where this is not fixable, that that can that I showed you guys um, with the more milky actual varnish, which I think is like a wood varnish, that sucker would take care of it. Um, because of it being so milky, it's a little easier to make it an even coat without worried about too much water, too little water kind of thing going on. Is anybody in here? Because I am confused at the analytics showing right now on my screen. What does concurrent viewers mean? One saying got two, one say, there's literally two spots. Concurrent viewers, 2 and 1. And something about some average watch time that keeps jumping back and forth. I don't know if there's even anybody in here. I'm confused. It got me so perplexed. I might be able to do another round. I'm still seeing some white. I'll give it a shot. Do one more round on the horizontal. This stuff's still wet. So in this case, because the medium I'm using, the gloss I'm using is water-based and acrylic as well, um, I just spray water on my palette to keep it going. Oh no! Something made a noise. I like the color of the sky. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's a little bit of dude, this particular painting took so long because I had no idea what I was doing or what I wanted to do. So it's literally been about 4 paintings as far as just the sky. Then finally I looked at it and I said, wait a minute. And I started manipulating what I had up there, which was blue, violet, purple, and I think there was some kind of pink in there too. And then I eventually got this. And like I said, my favorite part is just this part right here. I love this, how that smoky effect came out. Um, smoky? Smoky or foggy? Cloudy? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. That effect, that thing that did that there. Alright, let's go ahead and put another think we'd be all right. If not, the devil maybe do it. Yeah, see, I think that's what's happening. It's starting to fray, and I think that fray from all the bristles getting too wet is what caused that. So I'm gonna have to try and piece it back together. But yeah, it should be fine. At this point, it's really nothing to worry about, um, because at least the paint is protected. That's all that matters in the world. Protect the paint. So in these areas, we're not worried about messing up the actual paint because we've already got so many layers on here of this. We have to go through those before we actually hit the paint. So I can actually take a little more time brushing. So now you're mainly only focused on, if you're having to brush that long, is watching basically this little white film you're putting on and making sure you're not overworking it, causing it to start getting real tacky and start lifting. And when it comes to these, almost all brands that are going to be doing this kind of paste, no matter the name, it's going to probably be about the same. If it's made for acrylic and it goes on white like this, it's technically going to all have the same, what do you call it, traits, as far as when you're applying. So it's definitely something the knowledge in one brand and one kind can definitely carry over to others. I mean, you may find a couple variations where you're like, oh, if I do this, it might get a little bit better and blah, 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 but just like acrylic paint itself, you'll find some acrylic paints that are more vibrant. Um, However, they all apply the same. They're all, acrylic, I guess. Does that make any sense? Erico making no sense again? So you just find the one, like you'll have trials. Hopefully you can avoid a couple that I came across that I've mentioned already in the video. And avoid those, and you'll be fine. See if I do this so you can see the white right now. Let's see what it shows. Alright, yeah, see how that haziness is? It's probably better that I have that light off. It makes it harder for me to do my job, but it lets you see what is going on. The more I try to do these videos, the more I'm like noticing that to make a video to share what I'm doing and all that, the more I have to sacrifice what I'm looking at. Because now I hardly have any light, but I see the view on the camera, and that's what I want you to see, because that's what I saw when the light was on. Just kind of, if you've ever seen my lives or whatever about the when I draw, I got that damn contraption holding the camera is right in front of my face, making it to where I have to do all kind of weird positioning just to see the paper, but I do it for the people. So if there is certain paintings or drawings that I end up putting just a picture of and not a video of making it, it's probably because um, A, I forgot, or B, um, it was too difficult to get the effect I wanted with having um, to meet the needs of having the video going, i.e. a quiet place, proper lighting, proper body positioning. I mean, it's crazy. Your body position does mean a lot to what you're doing, especially when drawing. Um, I've noticed I would do like a drawing, like a quick doodle sketch kind of thing, and I'd be so proud of it. Like, oh my god, I just spent like 30 minutes doing this. Then I sit back and I hold up the drawing, and it's the proportion. Like, say if it's a portrait, person's head is like um, the alien from from Alien. Just a long, elongated skull, like ridiculous. Like, this isn't right. That's inhuman. Um, and I started noticing that was due to me being kind of my head while I was drawing it at a different angle from what it should be. So when I'm looking at the paper, I was kind of looking at it at an angle. Um, so I'm drawing it from what I'm seeing, but I'm not seeing it at the spot I should be. Like, I was almost like when you're slumped over in your chair and you're almost even with the table. That's how I was drawing those. And yeah, it's freaky when you thought you did a good job and then you realize you you just made something ridiculous. It's disheartening. But it took me a while to realize that that's why I like thought, well, I'm just horrible at drawing a circle for a head, I guess. And then when I realized that I was just relaxed and too far hunched over, practically chin on the table drawing, I was too almost like perpendicular to the drawing. Uh, when I realized that, I was like, all right, it's a little bit better. Life's a little better now. Makes a little more sense. All right, we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go wash my brush while it dries, and I think that will be good for the day. I want to thank everyone that watched. Thank everyone that has liked. If you want to share the video, if you want to rewatch it, see if there's anything you missed, be my guest. I will put it up to be rewatched. I don't know. I will put it up on our on the page. So, and there's plenty others on the page as well that kind of cover some of the things I was talking about. But I hope you did enjoy. Did it lose focus? There's Woody. Woody's out of focus. That's my little Arctic air conditioner for when it gets too hot in here. It helps a little bit, but it's old. Um, yeah. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, spreading the word. And if you have any questions, anything I might be able to help you out with, don't hesitate to ask. It's what I'm here for. Um, I'm here to help in any way that I can. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know, and please don't take offense to me not knowing, because I don't know everything. I'm not great But I am someone who will share what I have learned if there's a mistake that I see that I've made or whatever. So just like we say with art, we can all rise together. So I hope you had a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. And see you on another time. I will be making this available, so if you are just coming in, you can watch the playback of me being boring. All right, y'all take care, and remember, with art, we all rise together, and every day is a new chapter. Peace.